goals for the next 3 years. District goals like a look at the goals, district goals for the next 3 years. District goals like a look at the goals, district goals for the next 3 years. District goals like a look at the goals, district goals for the next 3 years. District goals like district goals for the next 3 years. HR, which is supposed to come on. District goals for the next 3 years. District goals for the next 3 years. The themes from our focus district goals for the next 3 years. Folks, the first draft of these districts. We were working on them from morning. District goals for the next 3 years. The primary purpose there is that these will be folks, the first draft of these districts. We were working on them from morning. District goals for the next 3 years. These goals. So I'm just going to go over. The primary purpose there is that these will be folks, the first draft of these districts. Goal is academics. We were working on them from morning. District goals for the next 3 years. So I'm just going to go over. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. The primary purpose there is that these will be folks, the first draft of these districts. Goal is academics. We were working on them from morning. District goals for the next 3 years. So I'm just going to go over. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. The primary purpose there is that these will be. Folks, the first draft of these districts. So I'm just going to go over. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. And our primary purpose there is that these will be folks recognize the draft of these is academics. So I'm just going to go over. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. And our primary purpose there is that these will be now. Folks for the draft of these is academics. So I'm just going to go over the process for the goals, or as we move forward. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. And our primary purpose there is that these will be now. Simultaneously, partly because if we take a look at cabinet and members of their team, academics have. So I'm just going to go over the process for the goals, or address Charlene's question on that and how you approach that. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. And our primary purpose there is that these will be. Simultaneously, partly because if we take a look at cabinet and members of their team, academics have. So I'm just going to go over the process for the goals, or address Charlene's question on that and how you approach that. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. And our primary purpose there is that these will. Simultaneously, partly because if we take a look at cabinet and members of their team, academics have. So I'm just going to go over the process for the goals, or address Charlene's question on that and how you approach that. Our safety task force, and that's the need for. is that so I just want to make sure that we need to have a bullet point that addresses simultaneously. Partly because if we take a look at cabinet, and members of their team will have maybe one of those strategies question on that, how you approach that? Achieving the goals. For safety task force, and that's the need for primary purpose there is that anything else on this one? I just want to make sure. I don't know if there's in here, but we're also building the capacity so that when we're looking at these metrics, we'll be able to look at simultaneously. Partly because if we take a look at cabinet was talking about is we'll know when and members of their team sort of at the midterm break where we're at versus finding out 7 months later and then trying to adjust. Yes. Reduce our lead time to change. And I can add in a strategy around the dashboard. I know that that's something that is part of my goals this year, and we're working towards that. And next year, certainly we're going to continue to work on that. So, not sure where that would fit, but that's a good point, and that's something that's going to be evolved each year as we continue to add metrics to this. One more on goal 1.4, ensure all English learners are redesignated. And that's ultimately the goal, but there's steps in between that. Would be to ensure all English learners are supported, properly placed in our in grade level, and then and as many redesignated each year as possible, and identified for any special services. There's all those steps in there before all are redesignated, and I'm not sure what all of that is. But so what you will see so we could peel back. Let's take that. That's a great example of that. As Mark spoke to that to some degree. So if we take 1.4, there's then going to be a whole project plan to get to that, right? And then the benchmarks and the success criteria for that, and it would include the elements that you identified there. The part of the conversation around all here is if we were to say ensure English learners are supported in their education or something. If we don't put the word all, then which of our 12th graders are not going to be redesignated, right? It's one of those kind of catch-alls. If we don't say all, then are we not setting the expectation that all of our kids should be redesignated by the time they walk across that stage as best we can, given that knowing that they've been here longer than a year or two and the time frame that is realistic. But what you just said, then ensure all English learners are redesignated by graduation. I love that, by graduation. I mean, that's a great goal. I'm not sure when. So, and we can continue to have some dialogue. If I had the action plan here would be my reservation with that. If we have a child that comes in kinder, the expectation isn't that it's 12 years. The expectation is that I believe it's 4, right? 3 or 4. Well, so 5. Is it 5? So I think what we could do is maybe finesse that and put maybe a timestamp on there. Graduation's too long. Unless you came in as a sophomore, right? I mean, unless there's some other caveats there, but we'll finesse that language a little bit for you. Just so long as it's just not clear, like by the end of the year, Okay. It kind of opens the door to uncertainty. Okay.
So I think this might move in the same direction that John expressed, that so much of what the community is looking at as we're developing goals, they want to know specifically what we're doing for reading, English language skills, and math skills. And if we don't have specific goals that state something, they're going to assume that we've ignored math or we've ignored for reading skills and scores.
Mm-hmm.
Because our tools to measure these goals are going to be those scores. Or a lot of what we'll do to measure how effective we are will be test scores. But don't we need something that tells the public we're really working specifically to?
So 1.5, it says deepen knowledge of California state standards in core subjects. I could write out those core subjects because we didn't want to just limit it to English and math. We could write English, math, science. And so if you believe that would be, would message to the public more clearly rather than just saying core subject areas.
Reverse it.
And they're asking that we use the mics.
Oh, okay.
I just got a sign language text.
You could reverse it, Sarah, in English language arts, math, and whatever the California.
Okay. Let me work on some language on that.
I just think we need to communicate with the public that we're addressing the things that the state has identified are our biggest concerns.
All right.
I think
Good feedback.
and I think my hope sort of coming into this, if we think about what you were saying, is why I sort of highlighted that, is certainly the 7 of us, and I mentioned it before we started the meeting, we're sort of a year into this, from the hiring process to bringing Dr. Noguchi on to the 6 months now. So we're sort of a year in. And this bridge building and team building is that I think what we'll see going forward, my sincere hope is that things are going to start moving fairly quickly because we've gone slow to go fast. And so a lot of things have been going under the hood. And my expectation is that superintendent and cabinet and staff, teachers, labor groups are starting to come together, and that we're going to see a rapid movement, which I hope brings some of that back and actually brings the second piece of this to the table, which is more parents and community members getting engaged because they see things happening. If all the cards lay right, if that makes sense.
No, but I think it's a point well taken. Language is important, and that's really the primary time we're going to spend today is around language, right? And if it doesn't speak to you, 1.5 doesn't speak to what you're getting at, then we can rework it. I mean, it's there, but we're also educators that are writing this, right? But this is also for parents, so we'll look through this through the lens of others. And again, still needs to be wordsmithed and vetted. It's hot off the press, literally last night. So, and I thought about maybe not sharing this already with you, but I really thought it was important to be able to connect this work and the work that Terrellyn is going to work with you on around language and the importance. It's the importance because it connects with the what we do, and these two really are going to be going hand in hand. And that's why I chose to put this out, even though it wasn't completely, 100%. So is any other feedback at this point? Again, you will definitely have some time to be able to look through it before I bring it forward to the board meeting. You'll have time to really think through and give feedback and additional input before March 11th, and then you don't vote on it until that following board meeting in April. So we'll have some more time there as well. Alrighty, without additional questions, I'm going to turn this over to my esteemed colleague here, Terrellyn Finders, who's going to go back to and remind us where we started with our work with the vision, the mission, the core values, and hopefully wrap this up today, because I think we're pretty close to wrapping it up. But I also recognize we want to be careful and very firm on the language that we use, because I know I'm going to use this language with you as we move forward in making decisions. So as we make decisions about reducing that deficit spending next year, and we look at making some hard decisions for our district, I'm going to go back to our core beliefs and continually connect it back to that. So tonight, while it seems like to some degree it's just more of the same, I know that this is a structure that I'm going to use in my leadership. So these words are important. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. Well, it's nice to be back with you. Hello. Happy New Year. I hope your Super Bowl team won. Mine did not. However, my chili did win the cook-off. So there you go. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I got the large bottle of Pepto-Bismol. What an award. Anyway, so I'm going to let you share your thoughts on vision, mission, and values, and remind you that these words that are down here came from a conversation you'd had when we first met, shortly after your new superintendent was on board. Before we move over to that, though, I do want to offer an observation based on the comments that the board's giving to staff, superintendent and staff, about the goals. I appreciate the points you're making, and I have to say that one of the things I see working with districts up and down the state is that we start to talk inside baseball. And so while I do hear, in one, and I'm not going to belabor this point, in 1.5, I do hear math and English, right? We all hear that. The public doesn't necessarily, and they look at this and say, that's really neat, what are you doing about reading? And so it's terrific that, and safety brought up by Amy, and so it's terrific that your board is giving you that input, because this is the lens through which your public looks at you. And so keep it real, you guys, as you are striving to. And your vision, mission, and values really allow the superintendent to drive hard the goals and the priorities of the board with senior staff and working with everyone throughout the organization, most especially when you have change afoot or you're reviewing how you're spending, right? So this is important. It's really important work. This is the lens through which Dr. Noguchi will do all of her work with you. So I'm actually going to turn it over to you. Vision, I'll remind you, is what you see. It's the end goal. It's a Starbucks mission, is our vision. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I actually just did a whole bunch of visioning work with a couple of other districts, and we had some really fun exercises looking at vision, mission statements from outside education. Starbucks' vision is building communities one cup at a time. And, they all took sort of a swipe at what they thought the vision was, and they weren't anywhere close to it. Quality coffee, high profits, whatever. And no, it was real. Their vision was to create this place where communities could come together. Second Harvest vision statement is a world without hunger. And then your mission is what you're doing to get there. And your values are those themes that you use to hold each other accountable in terms of how you work together. So I'm going to stop talking. You're welcome. And ask the board for their thoughts on the vision statement. And this is the time to say thumbs up. I don't understand this. I want to see something changed. Because we're hoping to leave with a finished product.
Yeah, first. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, use the mic. They want us to use the mic. I think they might be taping it or streaming it. Okay, streaming it.
Pepto-Bismol's on tape.
I love chili.
So just to clarify, our visions will read, we envision every student graduating college and career ready.
As it's written here.
Is that what we're saying?
Right.
Do we need to say and or career ready? Because it sounds like we're expecting every student to graduate from college.
I believe that the and, I'll answer only because this was an issue at one of our visioning statement meetings a while back. We did talk about and or, and we landed on and because we wanted all of our students to be prepared to go to college, but if they chose to go into career, they still had the ability to go into career. So we didn't want to limit them by saying you could be and or college career ready or college and or career ready. So that's how I saw it, and I'm on some statewide committees that the goal is to give students the preparation so they can go to college if they wish to.
So perhaps it should read, we envision every student college and career ready rather than graduating college.
Oh,
That's a totally different expectation.
I see. Yeah, you're right.
So deleting the word graduating.
Yeah.
Graduating high school.
Yeah.
Graduating ready for.
We had will graduate college and career ready is what the former statement said.
Graduate college.
will graduate, yeah, college, but I think I like yours, just taking out graduate, yeah.
No, but I think part of this went to, and Trustee Brown had a lot when we had our last meeting talking about making sure that our vision statement was very high end. And I think Trustee Lopez said the same thing. And I think part of that drove this. But I think what you're getting at is that maybe needs to be a word there that says that the graduating Modesto City Schools ready for college and or career. And I like the or, but I've given that up. I've suffice to say that if you're junior college ready or you're trade ready, that's college too. But maybe it's just a touch misleading. Needs a word or two.
We'll graduate.
Leave us, graduate.
Yeah.
Kath?
I think I agree with Dr. West. We need to figure out how it isn't going to say graduating college because
Right. Yes.
that isn't what we visualizing.
Graduate high school, college, and career ready.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, other than we do have continuation, and we do. I mean, so high school, is that an all-encompassing enough word for our students? That's a question. I don't know.
How about graduating from Modesto City Schools, college?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that way it covers it.
First
Every
down.
student graduating from Modesto City School, college and career ready. Yeah.
And prepared to thrive in and contribute to our global society.
That was your work.
That comes back, my concern was that we didn't have parallelism in the way we were stating this. So, graduating from Modesto City Schools, or however we state it,
College and career.
Okay.
and then stating that they are college and career ready, I think that takes care of it. And I'm not on the microphone. Sorry.
Didn't count. Say it again.
Do I need to restate that?
Good.
Yeah, I need you to, could you take a pass at the words that you want to see in here because I wasn't tracking you.
Okay, so I had a problem with graduating college again, but graduating from Modesto City Schools, comma, college and career ready.
Can we put a bean in there? Being college and career ready?
I think it's fluff. I mean,
We envision every student graduating from Modesto City Schools, comma.
Or becoming.
No.
I feel like it's just too much wording on.
Yeah, yeah.
Becoming.
Career ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Burton nailed it.
College and career ready from Modesto City Schools, college and career ready.
And prepared to thrive in and contribute to our society?
I would think college and career ready, maybe not in a comma there, but prepared to thrive in and contribute to our global society. But I don't know if you would need another comma there or a semicolon.
We got teachers for that, don't we?
No, okay, so here's what I have so far. Trying to bring it back to you, not to edit with you, for you. Every student will graduate from Modesto City Schools, college and career ready, prepared to thrive, this is what I just heard, and contribute in our global society. So that's what you just said. So may I propose every student will graduate from Modesto City Schools, college and career ready, comma, and prepared to thrive in our and contribute to our global society. Thrive in and contribute to our global society.
I like thrive
I like thrive
Yeah.
too.
and no thrive in.
Thrive in, yeah.
Thrive in, yeah, we aren't deleting anything from that part. You're just changing the first part, right?
No, we're taking away.
He's
The
proposing
in.
that you put a comma after thrive and drop in. Prepared to thrive.
I see it this way. We envision every student graduating from Modesto City Schools, college and career ready, prepared to thrive and contribute to our global society. So no in, no thrive in, and contribute to our global society. I don't know. I don't like the in, but that's just
Yeah, it throws you
that's
off.
yeah.
And contribute to our global society. Okay.
Trustee Works over here.
So I still like knowledge, abilities, and character traits. I liked having those, so I didn't know if it would work with this. So we're going to keep it as it is, what we've just done, and then just before and character traits, and then at that, with, in order to be prepared to thrive and contribute to our global society. However you just worded that last statement. I liked showing that this is what our goal is, or our vision is that our students will have the knowledge, abilities, and character traits that they need. So it's actually defining what our preparation is, rather than just saying prepared. I felt like it was more defined.
Okay, so you're proposing not deleting, turning the words with the knowledge, abilities, and character traits needed to thrive, less prepared.
Or in order to be prepared, whatever is the wish of this group. But I liked that it's there, and I was trying to find a way to keep prepared and to thrive and contribute. So we're deleting in.
Would you want the word essential or something else? Prepared is not
I like essential.
a strong vision word.
Okay. Essential's good. Yeah.
Prepared would be down in mission.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So I'm going to suggest a new change on that same thought.
Okay.
So I think if we keep these things in, let's put them right after graduating from Modesto City Schools with the knowledge, abilities, and character traits needed to be college and career ready.
Oh, okay. That's good.
All right. I'm going to actually try to keep up with you, which is going to require a keyboard. So can I ask you to give me that one more time, sir?
Okay. Every student will graduate from Modesto City Schools, or every student graduating from Modesto City Schools with the knowledge, abilities, and character traits to be college and career ready. Prepared to thrive and contribute to our global society.
Every student graduates from Modesto City Schools with the knowledge, abilities, and character traits to be college and career ready, comma, prepared to thrive, comma, and contribute to our global society.
Got all the words in there.
You did. Got them all in there.
A little more challenging than somebody. What is the vision of Modesto City Schools? Remember it at the top of my head.
You will. You will.
Which is exactly what Terrellyn said to begin with. What is Starbucks' vision? Right? In keeping, it's all good, right? But what is, at the end of the day, and it's something that we are going to need to know what the vision is.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we need to go find the document that has the vision. So,
Here, you got one. There you go.
yes.
Okay, we're limiting. Okay, if we look at it and dissect it, we're saying that we're only giving them the knowledge, abilities, and character traits to be college and career ready, and not necessarily to thrive and contribute to our global society, because the way we've structured it. So, and I'm all for shorter and more succinct. So yeah, I'm getting my pen out on this one, but every student will graduate. I don't think we need to say from Modesto City Schools, and the reason why is because if we have a kid for a few years and they move away, we still have a vision for that student that they're going to graduate. we're going to give them the tools they need to graduate somewhere. We're going to keep them on track to get to that place wherever they go, right? Because we have, 25% mobility at some of our sites, 30% mobility at some of our sites, I think.
But then
Yeah, so I mean, I just want them. I want them to be graduating. I want them to stay here the whole time, but whenever we have them, we're keeping them on track for that goal.
How about this? Every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits to thrive and contribute to our global society. Arguably, if you're thriving, you have your college or career ready. I mean, maybe you want to bring that in somewhere else to your mission. You do want your vision to be something that you all remember.
Can you read it again?
I can. Every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits to thrive and contribute to our global society.
Knowledge. And so you've taken out abilities?
She put
Skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Skills, knowledge.
I put in skills, but I could put in ability. I can change the word.
You know, skills is fine. Yeah, skills is good. Okay, I just was trying to track you.
Yeah.
So, every student graduates with
The skills,
knowledge,
and character traits. You want
Ne-
to add the word essential to
Yeah.
thrive?
essential, necessary, something imperative.
Essential to thrive
Yeah. And contribute to our global
and
society.
contribute to our.
And I agree with whoever suggested leaving global out. To me, it
I
muddies
agree.
it up a little bit.
I agree. Let's take global out because to me, that's become I don't know. It's lost what it means. I like it being well. We had before we had suggested becoming contributing members of society, and that breaks it down into wherever you live. And if it's this society that we're living in, instead of when you think of it beyond, you go okay.
The last piece.
But I don't know if that's
Okay.
Skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and make meaningful contributions to society.
Yeah.
No.
Contribute
to our society.
contributing members.
I for some reason like college and career ready in there, so
Almost got rid of it.
I think college and careers become a hot button that now everybody thinks when we say that all that means is everybody needs to go to college and then the public gets mad at us. So this just pulls that out and so to thrive and contribute, you could go to college, you could go to trade school, you could go into the military. So the only problem with college and career, I mean, it doesn't go in serving our country, because we have a significant number of students at some of our sites, and we're looking at doing that, the junior ROTC. Yeah, so college and career, does that cover it? Am I off on that?
I like it, and I think that part of what you're getting at is probably the better way to say it than I said it before. Was it comes off as a marketing slogan that's been overused and worn out, versus something that we sort of created and came up with, which is what we just did here. That seems a bit more organic. It keeps Trustee Brown's idea that it's a high-flying thing and it's a high bar we're reaching. I agree with you. The fact that global gets overused, it seems in the one sentence, two sentence, it's repeatable and memorizable.
So I also like taking out will graduate. I think graduates because it's more active.
Yes.
It's a stronger sentence.
It's a better vision statement because right, it's what you see.
Every
right? The vision is
student
absolutely what
graduates.
you see, and your mission is what you're doing to get there. So you're saying, what do you see? We see every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and contribute to a global society, global society. Or do you want to drop global?
Or to society.
Yeah.
To our
I think we want.
College could be a part of the mission.
right.
Yes, it can be.
That would be part of the mission.
It can be. Yeah.
I like that.
I like it
Okay.
too. I
Yeah,
like
and
it too.
are we on? I'm not
like
sure whether global was still in there or not. I thought
We took it off. I thought
took
it
it
was
off.
good
I
without
think
it.
it's good on.
So let's read it again and get some thumbs up.
Okay.
So we know.
I like it. Oh, I like it.
Everybody
I like
good?
what you did. Are we good?
So
with
let's read it.
Read it again.
What's the mission in your school district here in Modesto City Schools? Every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and contribute to our society.
Thumbs
To
up?
society or our society?
Our society.
Well, I mean, they're gonna go someplace
Our
else.
society may be too small.
Let's say
Okay.
to society. I liked
Yeah.
it without our.
To
But
society.
society is
Yeah.
very broad and very.
Yeah.
You covered everything.
Yeah, but let's not modify it with R.
Yeah, let's just leave our out.
But
To society?
I think it sounds better with R, but because it's
Sound more
all, it's all,
personal.
yeah, it's all subjective to, like, some people might look at that and that might be a block. Some people might look at it in the global society, right? It's very up to interpretation, but wherever that scope for them, that they would be thriving in that setting.
Okay, I'm looking for thumbs on our.
You know,
In.
Oh, you got.
I'm neutral.
I'm
Oh.
that's on both.
Okay.
Whatever works for you guys.
So we have 3 and 3 with you being neutral.
Oh.
I thought it was more broad without our. Is
I thought it was
I
better
looked at
without R.
Yeah, I liked it without our.
I'm leaning more that direction,
So without our
without our.
Without our.
1, 2,
Oh,
3.
without our.
Without our 1, 2, 3, 4.
Without R.
Trustee Lopez, when you're sharing the vision statement with anyone, anywhere, and you add the word our, no one will know.
That's right.
It's true.
That's right.
It will be
Yeah.
fine. It will be one of those sort of pivotal personal choice words.
All right. That's good though.
Okay, now we're moving on to your mission, and this is what you commit to do to achieve this vision. You commit to offering rigorous, relevant, diverse education programs that engage and encourage all students to reach their individual potential by, and then there are several statements underneath here. So let's start with that opening. Is that opening statement broad enough for you to fit specifics underneath?
Again, that's a
Microphone.
microphone.
I think we should add college career.
Make it done.
No, took it out of that.
Do what?
That's a lot in the vision. I mean, in the mission.
It is?
Very verbose. So how do we? It's a lot. Even looking at all of this, when I got the document, I was trying to figure out how to condense it and make it do what we want it to do.
But doesn't part of what we're doing supposed to be able, in a sense of a policy and sort of a vision statement, provide the latitude for the superintendent, cabinet staff, our teachers to be able to go do all these different things? Because we have all these different ROPs and CTE and vocational and college. And so I do think to a certain degree it needs to be broad enough because, as the superintendent mentioned, she'll go back to this to sort of her driving action about how she moves forward. So
Well, I mean, the mission is actually supposed to be a directive of the vision, so to speak, and some of that same principles apply to the vision. I mean, to the mission as it does the vision. To me, it looks more like a purpose statement. You know, our purpose is to do these things here versus a mission statement. And that's just my own personal.
I'm wondering if we can combine some of the bullets. For instance, the first bullet and the last, providing safe and secure working and learning environments that nurture employee and student well-being by facilitating open and honest communication across all members of the community. That would be one bullet instead of two, and I think others can be combined if that would make you feel like it's a little bit more condensed. Getting the same info but putting it together instead of all these different bullet points.
And we can, I beg your pardon, ma'am.
No, that's okay. So something else to consider as we work to bring back many of our students that have decided to go elsewhere. Some parents will read this, right? Some parents are looking for rigorous programs. Some are looking for diverse educational programs, so it's not just the same program, but there's multiple options. I'm not saying that every one of these words need to be in there, but we also, this is going to be a marketing tool for parents. Should I go to Modesto or should I go down to Turlock? I mean, whatever choices they have relative to high schools or elementaries to that regard. So I think it is important to have it be very broad. So we're allowing parents that are shopping, we're allowing to speak to their needs, if you will.
How about this? We provide rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs to ensure all students reach their individual potential. And then you can put bullets underneath it. That is shorter.
Yeah, we could take out engage and encourage, but I also think maybe relevant. Relevant's not that strong of a word there. Because if it's rigorous and diverse, and then it's going to be relevant to help them reach their, it's implied.
So if we take out relevant, I want something that makes sure that it's timely, it's up to date, and to be relevant addresses that to some extent.
Okay. Well, if it's rigorous, it's
Rigorous but not current is wasted.
How about quality? Rigorous, quality, diverse educational programs.
Yeah, quality with rigorous.
yeah, I think
Okay.
you do.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a thought for your opening line mission statement. Something that would be a little catchy and more memorable.
The microphone, Don.
And still get to the point of what the actual mission is. Like E, 3 E's. Educate, excite, and energize for success or to succeed. Something like that. Something that would be very simple, generic, and you could go in your bullet points and get into your detail stuff.
Did you write that? Educate, excite, and energize.
Pardon me?
I caught educate, excite, and energize.
Educate, excite, and energize for success or to succeed. I mean, everybody's definition of success or succeeding, is limited to their own imagination. You don't have to say college or career or anything specific on that top line. Just a thought.
Thank you.
Carolyn, will you read the statement that you said earlier?
It's a more succinct version of what you have here, which is we provide rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs to ensure all students reach their individual potential.
I like that engage, so actionable.
So this first sentence is like what we're gonna commit to, and then the bullet points below are how we're gonna do it. Okay, so
It's more into the how. Yes.
yeah. Okay, so the first sentence is what we're gonna do. So is anything in that sentence that is the how? So we're committed to offering rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs. Is engage and encourage the how? I think it's a what still. Yeah. All students to reach their what we're going to do to reach their individual potential. Yeah. I think we're still on the what, all of those things. And the how we got to get down below.
So you want to change it to engage all students to.
I like the way it is. I think we got it.
I like it the way it is too, and I especially like to reach their individual potential because that speaks to every student at varying abilities. So I really hope we keep that part in, reaching the individual potential for each student.
Okay.
So who's happy with it the way it is?
I'll read it again. We provide rigorous, relevant, diverse educational programs that engage and encourage all students to reach their individual potential.
Okay, but what you read is not the way it's written. So we commit to.
I can add that back. I was just cutting words before because this
Okay.
gentleman thought it was a little wordy, so I gave you a shorter version. We commit to provide.
We provide.
We provide rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs that engage and encourage all students to reach their individual potential.
I like that.
I want to
What's this over there?
Okay.
address one word.
Wait, there we go.
But only one.
So the word encourage. I like the word challenge better.
I like motivate.
Wow.
Arm wrestle.
Okay, I'm looking for thumbs on motivate.
So what are the 3 words? So we've got encourage, motivate, and challenge.
I like Chad's challenge.
I'll go with motivate.
What do your teachers
I
think?
like encourage because I think that encourage is more addressing an emotional component of a student, and motivate is too.
Yes.
But I'm not sure challenge addresses that emotional component. So I mean, you know, we talk in previously in our, I have my notes from the previous thing, we talk about the whole child, which also is the emotional, and so we want to make sure that this addresses that whole child.
So Doug and Yasser, what are your thoughts? I don't want to, put you right out there, but if in looking at it through the lens of it resonating with teachers or not, what are your thoughts on encourage, motivate, challenge, or something else? What are your thoughts?
I personally, well, I know I'm supposed to use my. Thank you. I personally like encourage or motivate. I can challenge you to do something, but that doesn't mean I'm doing anything to support you to get there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So do we need engage that motivate all students? I mean, does motivate cover engage and encourage?
No.
That
think-
engage
How about both of those, motivate and
Engagement
engage?
is one thing,
and you
and
motivate
then
them?
you motivate them to want to
Okay.
to do more. You motivate them to be inspired by your engaging them in the process, in the learning process.
I think motivate's good. I'll see why.
Motivate is a consumer-friendly word.
I like motivate.
Parents,
Yeah.
I think it is.
I like motivate because to me it's more of an action word. Encourage is more of an emotional word. So motivate is moving something forward.
Okay. We are moving up to your sub-bullets underneath there, which speaks more to how.
Yeah, we can add encourage.
So I have a question before we do that. We took out college and career ready out of our vision statement. It's already been taken out of our mission statement before this. Do we still want to have college and career ready? Because right now it's gone.
I think we could put it in a bullet point.
That's what I thought too.
I think we should have a specific bullet point for it. But
Yes. Okay.
So I think it's a good idea for you to look at these bullet points and prioritize themes, because while they're all important, you are going to want to read them like a consumer who's going to read them with a sense of priority. Even though they're all important to you, they are going to interpret that you've kind of ranked them.
Yes.
Favorite child to least favorite child, so to speak.
True.
And so that would apply to my family, not your school district. So safe and secure working and learning environment. And that, from your discussion last time, I will say it was not just learning, it was working and learning, because you spoke pretty passionately about your staff. Optimizing all teaching and learning opportunities. That really came from a discussion about how teaching is taking place everywhere. Everyone who works with your children and is essentially teaching them by modeling.
I'm not sure that those words will speak to the public.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think we need to find a way to bring that.
To say what that
Ears of the
say what that means. Yeah.
And also in the providing a safe and secure, I think, since we're talking about this document going to parents, going in the community, and even from an employee standpoint, we're providing a safe and secure learning environment first and foremost, and then a working
To transpose
those.
Do you want to change secure to welcoming, since that's been the theme of your committee? Safe and welcoming?
That's a good one.
It
Yeah.
says more than secure to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It speaks
Yeah.
more to the social emotional for everyone.
Right.
Yes. I like welcoming. That's a good idea.
You are welcoming. All right, we'll come back to the second bullet. Creating a culture of high expectations for all employees and students.
Just generally, a general observation of all these. Okay, Dr. Noguchi keeps saying, and I mean, we realize this, that this is going out to parents, trying to encourage parents to bring their kids here. I read that this is providing a safe working environment. All of these have our employees first. And, supporting our professionals and making decisions, creating a culture of high expectation for all employees. Everything has the employees first.
Well,
Every single one of those bullet points. So I would choose another district if I was reading this with that mindset of, am I gonna choose this district because of what they're gonna do for my student?
Right, that's what the point I was making.
So
That was the point. you made.
yeah.
So
So I mean, what's our point on this?
those could be trans.
Well, I think part of the point is also it's going to speak to the 4,000 employees that we have also, which is an important component to this
Sure.
for us to realize our goals. We can certainly prioritize it in a different way. I don't necessarily think that one is more important than the other, because without employees that feel valued and understand the vision and the mission and where we're going, they're not going to be the best that they can be. So I think it's both.
It is, but to the public, it just depends on what our purpose is here. To the public, that's a parent that's shopping for a school district. That's not persuasive. Because they don't understand that the whole complicated issue with that. So I mean,
Let me suggest that your second to the last bullet might be your first one. Striving to ensure all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready. You could add it there.
yeah. Maybe we just need to reorder it. Maybe.
Right.
And I think that we can condense some of these because there's quite a few here.
So we could make that one number 1 for now as we move along. Maybe consolidating the first and last, providing a safe and welcoming learning and working environments, nurture student well-being, student and employee well-being.
Through honest,
Right.
just
Open,
honest communication.
Right, open, honest communication and great snacks. Don't lose your sense of humor, people. But those two could be consolidated, and I will do that with you while we're here this evening. Based on the conversation you had when I was with you, I have to ask a question, and that is, do you now move to the third one, the third bullet, or the third bullet is creating a culture of high expectations for all students and employees? Would that be your third bullet? Let me phrase it as a question.
I would move that down further. I think there are other things that
Further,
would be more
okay.
important, I think.
Okay. And what would you put next then, ma'am?
I think the trust and encouraging.
Project on that TV back there.
Maybe optimizing. Because number 1, is the highest quality instruction is what we're saying now.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first and last bullet points that you're combining, I think to me that would be the next most important thing. The environment and the communication.
I have a question on the highest quality instruction. Does that resonate more for those in the public or high academic standards?
I think the highest quality instruction resonates more in the public because it's instruction rather than you don't know what those standards are.
And I think standards are different than instruction. So you instruct on the standards.
Okay, okay, good.
That just makes me think of standardized testing.
And should we take out the
Something
first
like
two words of that first bullet point that we've decided is the first one? Instead of striving to, should it be ensuring all students have access to?
Yes.
That way it's more of a
Just
our
gonna
mission.
try, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
And ensuring
Ensure all students have access to high quality instruction
Yes.
or ensuring
and learning conditions.
yeah.
And graduate college and career.
And graduate college and career ready, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one
Got
was
it in there.
consolidation of
They just made enough money.
provide, not providing,
That's all right.
Safe and secure working.
safe and welcoming,
Yeah, I like that.
learning and
Working environments
So
through
why not that is not
open,
the first
honest
one anymore?
communication.
'Cause to get to all the other ones, you gotta have a safe and, safe working.
Through open, honest communication across all members of our school community.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm
I'm saying that we dropped providing a safe and
welcoming.
safe and
got two.
It is the second bullet.
Yes, but it was the first, and I think to me, being in a safe and welcoming environment is a precursor to everything else. Helps everything else grow because our students feel safe and welcoming, our employees feel safe and welcoming. Thereby, we get that high quality instruction. We get that all those other things that encompass, what we're trying to do because our environment is conducive to that because it's safe, it's welcoming. So, I just think it drives everything else.
I think safety's huge in people's minds right now. So I concur that safety might be where we want to start.
Provide a safe and welcoming learning and working environment through open, honest communication across all members of our school community. Ensure all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions. That's
If-
what I have so far.
And
If we're
graduate
gonna
college
put-
career ready.
Right.
I don't disagree with my colleagues on providing a safe environment being number one. I do think that is a number one concern, but I think we should just make it shorter, that first thing, that because it's so important. Safe is so important. Let's just let it sit on its own. So provide a safe and welcoming working and learning environment, period.
I like that.
Just because it's so important that's first. And then let's not convolute it with anything else.
And safe and secure really is one and the same, right? You're secure.
Right.
You're
No,
safe,
safe
you're
and
you're
welcoming.
secure. Yeah, and welcoming.
I like
the-
welcoming better, and I like,
the
and
welcoming.
I think that the point is well too. So instead of providing, I think by. Oh wait, no, we have to. It has. Okay, then if we're gonna say by at the top, then ensure it has to be ensuring at the bottom, and then providing still needs to be providing.
Do we need to
Get
keep
that.
working and learning?
It should be learning first.
I
it
think
should be
working and learning.
I was gonna say
Learning and working.
not putting working because the learning environment encompasses everyone, the teachers and the students. Because if you're in a learning environment, the teachers are the main people in that. So
Providing a safe and
Safe and-
secure learning environment.
safe and welcoming learning environment.
Yes,
I think that.
Okay, provide.
I like it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Except that we have many employees that are not in the classroom.
And I was going to ask Tim just kind of his thoughts on that. Why don't you read it and see and think through the lens of, because many of your staff are not necessarily instructionally, focused. They're working to support instruction in the classroom. So read that one and see
Or
if
they
it
might,
resonates.
or they might drive buses.
I was trying to see if
Right,
another one
right.
did.
It's all of that, supporting it.
But they're part of the welcoming.
Yes, they are.
That's where
Provide
that
a
comes
safe
in.
and welcoming
Learning environment.
learning environment.
And everyone contributes to that.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Everybody.
Contributing to the learning of the student, whether it's a bus driver, a cafeteria worker.
That speaks to the point about optimizing.
Yes.
So, okay. So then we have ensuring all students have access to, sir, did you want to answer that? I beg your pardon, a question was addressed to.
No, I agree with Dr. West. I mean, the classified employees are still part of the learning environment.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for.
Okay.
And they're a big part of the welcoming
Yes.
aspect of it.
Totally.
It's huge.
Yeah, they're the first people they see. The
The
bus
second-
driver,
The second theme is ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions, comma, and graduate college and career ready.
Have a
Pastor wants to talk.
If I might be just a little kind of devil's advocate in this respect, as much as there are going to be, parents looking at this document as a way to, is this the school I want to go to? Very well could be employees who look at this document and say, is this the school I want to work for? And that's why I might suggest not taking out the working environment, because that really is something they're going to be thinking about it as it's still a place I work at. It's sure I'm part of the learning environment, but it's still my job. And is this a place I want to spend the next 15 to 30 years of my life at?
Learning and working environment.
Yeah, I know you're trying to avoid being cliche or just following what others are doing, but it is a common theme right now. People want to know that the teachers and the staff and everyone at the schools feel safe, because in some places they don't. So it's a big theme.
So we're changing the order of learning and working, which I like. I think working is still important in there.
right.
Okay.
And but we're deleting from the S on, so the nurturing
Working environment.
Yeah.
Right. And then you went into a next point, which is ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready.
Great. Okay.
Then, I believe you were talking about creating a culture of high expectations for all employees and students, for all students and employees.
So that's the third bullet.
That would be third.
That's a good.
Creating a culture of high expectations for all employees and students.
And I'm reversing students and employees,
Students and employees.
because all of our employees are very patient.
With the caveat that I think Yasser's also right and hit on the point there, odds are the person that's going to probably read this more than anybody else is going to be the employees looking at it. I don't think there's hundreds and hundreds of parents out there shopping school districts, in all of honesty. I think that his point's well taken. It's far more likely that employees and staff are going to read this carefully versus the handful of parents that are shopping. We're going to get them back with academic achievement, performance, and all those other things that go with what we talked about at the very beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
And then I think the fourth one should be the optimizing all teaching and learning opportunities. I just like that. I think it's great.
And let's try to put that in consumer-friendly language.
Right. We had another way to say that.
So I'm going to let you talk about what that means, and then I'll try to put some language on what I hear from your discussion. When we were together last time, the first time, what you were discussing here was that you realized like every exchange from the time a child gets on the bus or in a locker room or playing football in a front office, in a classroom, every exchange provides a learning opportunity for those students and is a learning exchange between the staff and the student. So you were talking about basically everyone owning these kids. So I'll just leave that with you, let you chat, and from your chat I'll try to pull a sentence out for you.
And then to pick up, because last time it wasn't Yasser, it was Mr. Burton, who mentioned that if we lead off with this whole first instruction thing, you're essentially intimating that we're not doing that. And that was sort of that driving piece to sort of pull back and not be stepping on our staff. That's how that line got there as we move forward to preserve that discussion from last time, which got us to where we're at.
That was a very healthy conversation. So.
Oh, this was muted.
Can we combine the optimizing sentence? We've already used the culture, never mind. I was gonna ask if we could combine that, optimizing, or a different word for teaching and learning opportunities by creating a culture of high expectations, but we've already used that one, so
Okay.
never mind.
Looking back on my notes of what we did last time, we used that word optimized a lot when we were that's why I'm like, oh man, I don't know what other word we come up with, because we really liked that word before.
Don't try to speak in sentences here. You don't have to. Just share your thoughts. I'll try to get a sentence out of it for you. So.
Maximizing all teaching and learning opportunities.
So I had written down that we value each student and ensure opportunities for academic success from our first meeting. But it was the whole idea of valuing the time that we are with the students, for each time that a teacher or a staff member has an opportunity to work with them. But we had changed this. We had deliver high quality first time instruction, but I think that was moved to the ensuring all students have access to high quality instruction. So we took out that, but we added the optimizing all teaching and learning opportunities.
It sounds the same to me
yeah.
as well. I don't know that, haven't we already covered that? Do we need a separate bullet for that?
Delete it.
We've already talked about ensuring students have highest quality education. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if you've said it. What's your vision? Every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and contribute to society. What's your mission? What do you do to achieve that? We provide rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs that engage and motivate all students to reach their individual potential. We provide, or by providing, and we don't have to decide that right now, we'll decide that later, by providing a safe and welcoming learning and working environment, ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready.
You said it right there.
Creating a culture of high expectations for all students and employees.
So, for me, the piece that this was trying to address was that learning happens not only in the classroom, but with every interaction with a district employee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking with the student rep today, our student rep, there was a comment that she made about the campus security and how valuable she feels they are in just every day talking to them, and how not everybody has that interaction with them in a positive way, but that she felt that that was really important. But it's that those are not necessarily people that you would say, this is somebody I need to spend time with today, but for her, that person makes her feel valuable. So I think it's how they make you feel when you come to campus, how they make you feel when you're walking around campus and in your classroom or outside your classroom. So it's that giving them that all-inclusive, it's the culture and climate of this school. It really is, and that's what Mark and I were on the committee today, but I thought some of those comments were helpful.
Amy?
And I think we get what you're saying, Trustee Marks, in the bullet 1 by providing a safe and welcoming. When we changed secure to welcoming,
I think
you just captured what you said. So maybe we don't need that second bullet point. We could probably delete it, because I think it captures what Trustee Brown's trying to say, because we changed secure to welcoming.
Yes.
That word really it brought in a lot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Does
Yeah.
anybody feel like we've lost something by limiting?
I feel the bullet point that further down that says nurturing a culture of trust and encouraging the professionals to make decisions that are in the best interest of the students. To me, that encompasses the relationships that we're trying to build outside of maybe the classroom setting. I think that nurturing culture of trust and encouragement kind of takes care of that, perhaps.
And see, the other thing I'm looking at is when I'm looking at this, I'm mirroring it to what we talked about originally. And the idea that if it's consumer friendly, it's got to be easy enough to read and get at, but you still have a path to get here because this is where the nuts and bolts are. And so I also want to be careful about over wordsmith and overbuilding and making something too much, because in reality, this is the framework that gets us to here, that pushes us to here, that allows Superintendent Noguchi to do what she needs to do, if that makes sense. It's part of a piece, it's not the whole picture.
This is an important theme, though, that you're talking about, though, because it does.
It speaks to everyone in the
It
organization.
speaks to everyone in the org. So I put something down here. No one's holding darts, are you?
No.
Nurturing a culture of trust and mindful that learning happens between students and staff in every interaction.
Say that again.
Nurturing a culture of trust and mindful that learning happens between students and staff in every interaction. I don't like between. Learning happens. There's something funky in that, but I was trying to get to the heart of what you're saying, which I just have to say is true, right? You know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Sometimes the bus driver just saying, how'd you do in the spelling test makes your day, or the food service lady is like the coolest part of the day. Sorry to all the math teachers, but
does the last bullet point, which I really like the last bullet point, and I want it to be last because sometimes people only read the first and last thing, so then the last sometimes is
yes.
The last is sometimes the second most important one. So I don't put this last because I don't think it's important, but because I'm thinking they'll read it. Facilitating open, honest communication, it talks about, I mean, does that cover the mindful of?
That goes into the first bullet now.
We already had.
Okay.
Well, we actually dropped it. They dropped it.
Yeah, we dropped that one.
You dropped it, but
we did.
I think.
No, we didn't.
Added it into something. You added it into something.
We didn't. It still has to be in there somewhere.
No, you dropped it because you'd said you wanted to stop at safe and welcoming learning environment. Why convolute it? We didn't want through open and honest communication. I mean, so you have dropped that.
That's what I had thought.
Oh.
Yes.
I agree with you. I like it as the last.
Yeah, it needs to be in there. I was talking about deleting just the last part of the first one, but that last one needs to be in there.
But instead of facilitating, can we say encourage?
Okay.
But
Could you read the last bullet for me, please, as you see it, ma'am?
Encouraging or facilitating open, honest, and ongoing communication across all members of our school community. Because then this gets to our parents, our community, our teachers, our staff, all levels of our staff.
Our voters.
Well, our school community is everybody.
So that's what you want. So nothing about nurturing or mindful that learning happens in all interactions.
I think it's important.
But I don't want it combined with any other bullet point.
Okay. Providing safe and welcoming learning environment. Ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready.
And then
Creating a culture of high expectations for all students and employees. Could we add it there? Mindful that all interactions with students are a learning opportunity or a teaching opportunity. I'm on the third bullet.
High expectations, I think, should stand on its own.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Then you have encouraging open, honest, and ongoing communication across all members of our school community.
I like encouraging better than facilitating, because I don't think we do facilitating.
Right. Encouraging,
I like
open,
that.
honest, and ongoing communication
Not
across.
being, because everything else is provide, engage, ensure, create. It should be
Yep.
encourage. Not
Just so I
being.
get this.
They're all now, they're ing now, because by providing, by supporting, by ensuring.
So everything's gonna be, it should be
ing,
consistent.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's just,
ing.
it's one, it will be one or the other, for sure. You have 4 bullets.
So, did we just include optimizing all teaching and learning to the last one?
No.
Or your revised version of that?
We do,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's,
How about just a tagline? Every student, every day, nothing but our best. I'm trying.
Well,
I think about it.
we've got 1, 2. Well, if we delete the optimizing all teaching and learning opportunities, we're not happy with that words. But we've got 2 other bullet points we haven't touched yet.
See, I see the last one as way different from the one that I think Chad's bringing up, and I honestly do believe in that. I believe in that philosophy of thinking, right, and that should be part of our mission. But I don't think that they're communications. To me, when I think about communication, I mean about being up in front, right, being transparent to all these sectors of our school community, right. But what culture we create when we use every moment that we have with a student as an opportunity to grow and to learn, it's different. So I do like the road that you were heading into, more than just adding it to the bottom one.
What are other people's thoughts on that? So Chad and Adolfo both have that same theme. Is there others?
That's okay.
I like the theme. I just wonder if we could combine that with the nurture a culture of trust, because that's kind of what we're talking about, is the interactions, and every opportunity is a learning opportunity, which goes along with the trust. And I like the wording of decisions that are in the best interest of the students, because could be different for every student and every situation. It looks at them as individuals. I don't know if that's too murky, though.
You're adding another bullet to this?
No, I agree with the direction you're going, because I like that word trust. Because the way
Here,
it's
Chad.
written here-
Chad.
Okay.
We combine those together somehow to say what we're trying to say.
I like the way that it expands that word trust, because the way it's written here, it seems like it's a trust between the district and the staff, but you're talking about trust
Interactions with staff
and in interactions with the students and every member of our staff.
Maybe we would get there by just, because every member of our staff does our professionals,
Oh, try that.
is that too narrow, because then it doesn't cover every member of the.
How about this? Nurturing a culture of trust through positive, supportive interactions between students and all staff.
Yeah.
Wordy. I have an idea. Could we put the trust in the last, Amy wanted the last, encourage open, honest, and ongoing communication. Can we say something like encourage trust through open, honest, and ongoing communication? And that'll take care of maybe the trust part.
Taking that emotion.
Okay. What is still missing, and I want to remind you, you still have to go through your values here.
I wasn't
Value
looking.
statements.
Yeah.
Is this theme that's been brought up that everyone who works at school is responsible for the students in every interaction. And is that a theme that is that something you want to put in a value statement?
Let's make it its own. I think it's worthy of its own bullet point. So I think we're trying to combine it, and I think that's the problem. Is it's its own point that stands on its own that we tried to capture with the optimizing all teaching and learning opportunities, but we didn't. And so I think that we have to make it its own point, which every moment counts, kind of thing. And so we need to go back to Chad. Say it again. What your thing is.
I don't even remember what I said.
Well, could I say one thing before we get there? She brings an interesting point to putting that as a value.
Right.
Yep.
So we have a statement on the value statement that says, all students must know we believe in them and that they are the focus of our work.
And then I see the other part. I see the other part put in another bullet underneath that says, and this is, we show this and we're doing this. And one of our values of how we conduct that work is through making sure that we optimize every opportunity with these students.
That every interaction with students is an opportunity to teach, to be a model.
Right. Now back to Chad.
News at 11.
I don't think I have got the magic words. I think the thought's out there. Sorry.
You are a man with great humility. Shall we move to your value statements? Which means you've just moved past supporting professionals in making data-driven decisions, which could also be really a value proposition, frankly.
Well, I think that we can support our staff in making the decisions that are in the best interest of students, and kind of combining those two bullet points. Instead of supporting our professionals, but then it takes out data driven, which we had that in the previous one, and then this one. Supporting our staff and making
supporting a students first culture.
Data-driven decisions focused on the best interest of our students.
Yeah.
Supporting our staff in making data-driven decisions that are in the best interest of students, including both academic and social emotional considerations.
Too wordy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best interest of students that include academic and social emotion considerations.
Do we need to have that academic and emotional social considerations in our mission statement?
No.
So
Is that thunder?
I don't think so either.
All right.
It's just in the best interest of our students.
Data-driven with a focus on academic and social emotion.
Is that back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Train.
Okay. So what?
All right.
So let's read them and get thumbs up.
We provide rigorous, relevant, diverse educational programs that engage and motivate all students to reach their individual potential by providing a safe and welcoming learning environment and working environment. By, and I'm not repeating the word by, simply non-verbally here, ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready. By creating a culture of high expectations for all students and employees. Supporting our staff in making data-driven decisions that are in the best interest of students. Encouraging trust through open, honest, and ongoing communication across all members of our school community. And I added nurturing positive, supportive interactions between students and staff, which could go down into value propositions.
Yeah.
Thumbs up?
Does that get us there?
That's good. I'm good with that.
Is that, I'm waiting to see if Dr. West was a hold symbol or a thumbs up.
Sorry, I'm writing.
So I have 5 now.
And I,
Yep. 6.
I have 6, but nurturing positive, supportive interactions between students and staff can go down into value propositions.
Okay.
So any sort of feedback from Don or Doug, Brad, any of you relative to those 5 bullets? Does that sound like it would resonate with the folks that you work to support?
Yeah, I think anybody who in our bargaining unit who were to read it would be okay with that.
Just a question.
Okay.
I think everything everybody suggested is pretty much what's expected. There's nothing catchy or surprising there. You know, I just think either the lead line in the mission statement or the vision needs to be jingly or something catchy.
Yeah. Well, that can come next, but a lot of districts are adding that. Every student, every day, nothing less than our best, or something like that. But you can come to that.
And something that's been part of this goal setting is the slogan. So what's going to help us brand ourselves as Modesto City Schools? We do have some ideas around that, and we're going to put those out for folks to vote on. And so you'll see, I think we've got a total of 5 different options that Executive Cabinet and Cabinet came up with. We had like 10, brought it down to 5. We'll put it out and have folks vote on it. And so that might get to the jingly slogan type communication that you're looking for.
It is what people remember.
The hook is to be determined.
So thank you.
And your value statements are, we believe, there are several red bullets on the reverse side.
If I can just add, our employees and students will strive to model our 9 character traits and adhere to the
Yeah, I like that.
to the high moral principles.
Yep, that's good. I like that.
Should it be students and employees, or because we've been putting
Students first.
So students.
Oh,
Is it possible to positive, collaborative, professional relationships are built on trust and respect?
It's the 3rd bullet.
And all students will know we believe in them and that they are the focus of our work.
Which bullet are you on?
2.
This 2.
So
you
can you
change
say it
mine?
again?
All students will know we believe in them and that they are the focus of our work. Okay.
So I know that one of the bullets was changed from the positive, the collaboration one on the very top was, it said work together for the benefit of our students, our parents, our community, and ourselves, as we understand that collaboration is the key to success at every level. I know it was changed to positive, collaborative, professional relationships are built on trust and respect, which I agree with adding trust to that, but I liked how it listed off students, parents, community, and ourselves. I thought that it helped identify who those people are. It isn't just professional relationships. It's all the people that make up a community.
And to bolster on that, I think that positive, collaborative, I think if we take out the word professional and say school community relationships are built on respect and trust. So it's everybody. We got to respect parents, we got to respect the kids and the teachers, and so it's more inclusive.
Yeah, I like that.
So I need 2 sentences, please.
Okay.
I think you just gave me 2.
No, we just take out the word professional. So positive, collaborative, delete professional, put in school community. Relationships are built on respect, and then adding trustee Irvin's trust.
Trust, yes, I like that.
Okay.
Good change,
Got it.
Amy.
So maybe you can help me out with this. When we're talking about what Chad was mentioning about the learning happens outside of our teachers, I don't know if you came up with some wording. I don't know if you still have it.
Statement. Yeah, nurturing. All right. Now I have to modify it again. Did you like the word mindful?
No, so it was
Oh.
Huh?
It's getting late, dude. I'm typing over here. Nurturing. I already said Pepto-Bismol on mine. I might as well hip check you. Nurturing positive, supportive interactions between students and staff was where we left it, but we can expand on that. So why don't you just?
I think we need to go back to. So I like the second bullet, where it says all students will know we believe in them, and that they are the focus of our work, and then just a statement that says that every interaction between student and any staff member is an opportunity for learning or teaching. I think that
Teaching
was
and
more
learning.
powerful than trying to.
yeah.
Every interaction matters. Like
Every interaction matters. Is an
Matters is
is an opportunity to show to teach and show we care.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that better than just. If we take that teach and share message out and just say that it matters, we've lost it.
No.
Matters demonstrates what we talked about before, which was optimizing valuable instruction time. So it's talking about a value statement of kind of an economic statement of if it matters.
Every interaction with students is an opportunity to teach and show we care. Every opportunity with every interaction with students
Matters and is an opportunity.
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
It's a learning opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you happy now?
Yes.
I'm
That was
happy.
good.
Good.
because
That just means you got to remember it when we get to the board meeting.
So then that shapes what I'm about to say next. So I want something in there because I don't know if that definitely covers it, but something in there to the extent that we're talking about parents having parents in their community, saying something that says that we believe that teaching does not end at our school gates, that it goes far beyond, and that we need parents and we need community.
Right.
That are teaching.
We value school-home partnerships because learning doesn't end at the end of the school day, whatever. I mean, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Stop it then.
We recognize that parents
Shared
are,
responsibility.
We recognize that parents are our students' first teachers.
To simplify it, can't we just say we value school, home, and community partnerships? Do you have
We can, but it's not saying the same thing. Because that would say, me as a teacher, I welcome you into the classroom and I'm willing to help you. But he's saying we are not going it alone. And
How about-
teaching doesn't end. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Right, because I know that we have a lot of partnerships and that's part of it, but all these factors, we're gonna support and we're gonna honor those factors because we know how vital it is to the success of our vision.
Okay, now I'm
Right,
hearing
so-
something different.
So can I try to get back to,
Yes.
we're going to have a Wayback Machine. We'll go back to school site council days. 3 pillars: students, parents, teachers. Those are the 3 pillars that support everything moving forward. If we've got those 3 in place, everything else comes in behind it. But those 3 pillars: student, parent, teacher.
So we can't, I think there's 4 pillars now
Yeah, 'cause the
because in
community.
many cases, the parents fail and we've got to provide.
Oh, he needs a mic.
Okay, I was trying to work off of Adolfo's point.
No, go ahead.
Teachers is broader than teachers, it's our staff.
Okay, I was just trying to get a way to get to where you guys were headed in a more succinct way that involves the parents as well, but go ahead.
How about, I'll take a stab at it. How about we welcome or we encourage or we recognize parents are partners in the education of our students? Parents and community are our partners in the education of our students?
Right, that's true.
Does that hit?
I think Adolfo, Trustee Lopez is trying to get that it doesn't end at the door, and I think he's trying to get the parents and engage them, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So it's. I mean, we're talking about our values and what do we believe in, right? And that's gonna lead the work that we do. And I think that one of the biggest things that we need to do is how we work with outside entities and how we work with parents, how we're bringing them in, how to build that structure. How do we put that in a value statement? Besides the fact that recognizing is one thing we can all recognize, but does that motivate us to actually see them as allies? And I want that illustrate. I know that it does, but I want that illustrate that in the values.
What if it was somewhere on the line of like maximizing student success? So we recognize that maximizing is, I wouldn't want it to be dependent on it. I think that we could get students to achieve, but maximizing student success is going to be a combination of educators, parents, community working together as one. So if we're really serious about maximizing, it takes the three. Is that where you're going on that or no?
Say that bullet point again.
Maximizing.
I think I forgot. I'm still thinking about the chili cook-off. That was it. No, it's
It was really good.
yeah, it actually sounds really good.
I believe maximizing.
Yeah, something along the line. We believe in order to maximize student success, it requires a collaborative effort between education, parents, and community. That way, Matt, we're talking. Yeah, partnership. That'd be good.
A collaboration.
I like that.
Parents.
Teamwork.
We aren't qualifying the parent involvement to the student success. It's just we're recognizing their essential role in this process, this quest of education that we're on. They're marching along with us. They're in this with us, and so I think that's what you were trying to get. There's more going on. The learning doesn't stop when they leave our facility, and they're coming in with what's going on in their homes and what's going on with their parents, and the parents are with us in this journey. And so so it's not necessarily about the success, it's about the journey. I mean, which hopefully will lead to success. But they're part of this.
How about student success benefits from a collaboration between educators, parents, and community?
Or participation instead of collaboration, because
student success benefits from a collaboration between educators, parents, and community.
From participation of instead of collaboration. I'm not sure.
We could use maximize or encourage. We understand that in order to encourage student success or maximize student success, we need to work together as partners with parents and community.
How about beginning with collaboration? Collaboration between educators, parent, and community.
And I'm wondering about parents because
Finish that.
we have so many students who are with guardians or grandparents or foster. I'm just wondering if there's another word we can use instead of parents.
Parent figures.
I think
Parent or guardians.
I think school community is the broadest thing you're going to come up with. And if people ask you what that means, you have to talk about all of our partners in education. But is that the statement? Is that we value our school community? Anyway, I truncated it to collaboration between the school. Yeah,
I still want to keep parents.
I'm hearing three different themes, so I'm having a hard time kind of landing on the right language.
I still like you having parents in there.
Yeah.
I think community also can be whoever else is out there and staff. You had parents, community, staff. Is that what you said?
collaboration between educators, parent, and school community.
Okay, yes, okay.
I'm coming. I've been sitting all day.
Supports student achievement.
But as Dr. West mentioned, I think we could put parents and guardians, and we would be all inclusive.
Yes, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. Are there other themes in these red points that you want to add?
How many do we have so far?
So there's something that's missing from what Adolfo was saying, that we didn't capture the value of just the culture outside our schools. And we didn't capture that we value that. We understand it exists and we value it. And we want to respect it. We want to engage with it. And what is that culture? That it's our parents, it's the grandparents, it's the students, it's the community. But there's a whole culture that exists outside of our schools, and that but it's fundamental to what's going on in our schools. So there's a symbiotic relationship, if you will, but that's not something we put in this. But and we recognize and value that, and we want that culture outside of our school. We want to be positively impacting that culture outside of our schools. We want it to be this positive relationship.
Recognize and celebrate cultural diversity.
It's kind of, that's kind of in it, but it's more than that, because the cultural diversity is just making it sound like, oh, we're recognizing just certain communities, that, you know, but it's a whole culture that's outside the school.
It's a village to educate.
Let me see if I can clear it up.
It's a village kind of thing.
Yeah. It's what value are we going to put in place for people to know that we want to work with them? That we don't have, that we know that for the success of our school district, we need to go above and beyond what's inside of our scope, right? What's inside of the resources that we have, to bring in different resources to actually make the success, though, the well-being of a student complete, and that's going to lead to the student success. So it's what's gonna say we want to work with those entities to make things happen. It's parents, it's community agencies, like.
Well, it goes back to that whole notion of it takes a village to educate a child. So it's that all-encompassing. We don't use that, but
okay.
Moving into the whole child type thing. We recognize that educating the whole child requires, because you really, when you're talking whole child, you're talking parents, you're talking any type of community resources.
Yes.
So something along the line of we recognize, to effectively educate the whole child requires contributions from education, family, and community partners, or something along the line. But it's, I think the line is the whole child on it, holistically, in terms of how they define whole child. Even on CD's website, it talks about parent involvement and all that, those other pieces.
I like the whole child, because the whole child then brings in the socio-emotional and that kind of thing. So I think that we value. Well, I mean, so our mission is to educate the whole child. So this is our value. How are we educating the whole child? We educate the whole child. We seek to educate. So the value is educating the whole child, recognizing the importance of the parents, the community, and recognize the importance and input from the community, parents, and other stakeholders. Or parents in the community.
You guys have any
I like when
input?
Mark said family. I think family, because sometimes it's aunts, uncles, cousins, and family can mean a family friend. I like the term family.
Yeah.
So why don't we just try to keep it as simple as we can. We recognize that educating the whole child requires family, we figure out how we want to put these in order. Community, family, parents, and staff. So we recognize that educating the whole child requires
input, requires what?
partnership with
Okay.
families, communities, parents, and educators or staff.
What about engaging? What about engaging families?
Yeah, that's what I put engage.
Engage?
Educating the whole child.
And I like where this is heading because we're now simplifying it back down again. Because we started out with one statement and we went all off into the woods and we came back and now we're sort of circling back. Allergies are killing me. Something that's still understandable to the community that's going to pick this up and read it.
Yeah, I'm still hearing
I
three.
like the word
three
partnership
themes.
very much. It requires, the first part of what Sarah said, we recognize that educating the whole child requires a partnership between, because that suggests that we're all working together for the good of the child.
Right. I like that.
And what are the four? I just saw you go like this with four. So what would you say the four descriptors are? Families, or you usually go larger to smaller. So communities, families, parents, and staff.
Yeah. But there still needs to be some action behind the partnership.
Educating the whole child requires a partnership across school, community, families.
Mm-hmm. Communities, families.
Okay.
You can be a partner. You can be a silent partner.
What?
That engages the community.
What about saying okay, so instead of saying we recognize educating the whole child in must engage families, parents, and the community and staff. So it's valuing that educating, the value is educating the whole child must. So it gets back to the engage.
Yeah, it's not mine to own. It's yours. It's just that it doesn't require that. You could do this if they, if a family doesn't engage, you're going to educate those children. It might not be as easy.
That's true.
I'm trying to get to the heart of what you value, and what I'm hearing is you value that a student's when a student's family is engaged in education,
it's optimized.
it's and just that they're welcome.
To your point.
I mean, that you encourage family involvement in student learning because students benefit. And that
Educating the whole child encourages a partnership.
I just want it to make sense to my daughter, who's got a kindergartner I want her to read this stuff, and whether she's applying for a job here or putting her daughter in your kindergarten, I want it to make sense, so that's what I'm trying to offer you, and that students benefit when their family is engaged in their learning, and families are welcome here.
So what do you have, and let's work backwards. What do you got?
Because I did hear a couple different themes here, actually, as we moved through it. So I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Okay, we did come with educating the whole child. We like that.
Educating the whole child.
Okay.
Educating the whole child.
And then it went to requires.
Is optimized. We don't like that word. Optimized through a partnership is maximized through partnership with families, communities. What was your four?
You had community, family,
Parents, and staff.
I was just trying to remember them.
Parents.
I like you said, I kind of like that going big communities, families, parents.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
There you go.
No. I think you do. I think you do.
You go big to small.
That's fine.
And again, keeping it where it's understandable to the parent that's reading it. Because if we get too deep into the ed speak, we've lost everybody except the people sitting here.
It's true.
So read that out.
Educating the whole child is optimized through partnership with, it's probably actually me.
Engaged partnership.
Communities, families, parents, and educators.
Like we are.
Okay.
Put meaningful in there and let's read it out.
Educating the whole child is optimized through meaningful partnership with communities, families, parents, and educators.
You didn't like optimize, right?
No.
You what?
Maximize.
Okay.
Maximize.
Yeah.
Instead of optimize.
Still gonna stand on
I'm with Trustee Irvin on engaged. Educating the whole child is maximized by engaging families, parents, and the community and staff.
Okay, that's good. I like that. by engaging.
Okay.
No,
We need to get
without
thumbs up on this one.
By
Can we do that
engaging.
on 3?
And partnership isn't in it, no.
Are we good?
Well, let's read it.
Because that's so formal.
How about through, instead of through a meaningful partnership, through an engaging partnership? There, you got your engaging there.
Engaging partnership will work for me.
Yeah, be mindful of what you're saying though, because
Yes.
you have to define engaged. And I mean, I may welcome my daughter home and ask her about school and not feel like participating in your class. You know, I mean, all these words have deep meaning, you guys. So I want to help you here. Educating the whole child is maximized by engaging. This is what you have: engaging meaningful partnerships with communities, families, parents, and educators. So, educating the whole child is maximized by creating meaningful partnerships.
Thank you. Because I think we have to be careful about the words, because we can, again, all this can be built out with the first two pieces we talked about earlier tonight. And I think that's where I keep trying to go back to is this is the high level framework and the details are coming later as we build the implementation out. And we're not trying to capture everything on 2 pages,
So,
if that makes sense.
You have 5 things right
yeah,
now.
creating's okay, yeah.
Every student deserves our best every day and in every situation. All students will know we believe in them and that they are the focus of our work. Every interaction with students matters and is an opportunity to teach and show we care. Positive, collaborative school community relationships are built on trust and respect. You value that. I've heard you say that. Educating the whole child is maximized by creating meaningful partnerships with communities, families, parents, and educators. I hear you say that. Next meeting should have some chili. I haven't heard that.
I'll add that.
So,
The big bottle of Pepto.
our employees and students will strive to model our 9 character traits and adhere. That's in there.
Our students and employees.
Okay.
Because I think we keep students before employees
Yes,
all
yes,
throughout.
ma'am.
Just
Just a friendly comms tip. Wherever you refer to something like 9 character traits, you need to put it on the document, like like in Time Magazine, a little call out box
they're
over to
right
the
up
side.
there. They're right up on that board right there.
I'm
But
just
yes.
saying anything they print, you
Right.
guys look for
Those will
those
be-
9 character
put it
traits to
in.
be there.
Okay. That's good.
A footnote.
Do we need to delete adhere to high moral principles? I mean, is that just, I mean, the character, is it redundant? I think so.
I thought it went along with one of these other ones, didn't it?
Well, the character traits are pretty inclusive.
I don't ever want us to encourage people not to adhere to high moral principles.
Yep.
So it's known.
But how is that interpreted?
Yep. I think that's the trick, and I think you're right, because that can be picked up a couple different ways, and why start an argument for the sake of doing so?
Let's just stick with our character traits.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, and I think you have it.
If you develop those traits, you will have high moral.
Amen.
That's right.
They're not mutually
Done a lot of
exclusive.
good work tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to want to
The last bullet.
read this and think about it, because this is what's going to empower your. This is what empowers a superintendent to go say, "Wait a minute, I just watched something that wouldn't make Miss Marks too happy." So, every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and contribute in society. I like the word "thrive."
In or to?
To contribute. In, thumbs up, to, thumbs up.
I think you
Contribute to. You contribute to.
Okay, so you thrive in society, but you contribute to society. So unfortunately, we've got a preposition issue.
Right, but
Unless
I
you have a
think they
comma
were
after
looking,
thrive.
it would have to have a comma after thrive.
Essential to thrive and
Contribute to.
Correct.
Our society.
We provide rigorous, relevant, and diverse educational programs that engage and motivate all students to reach their individual potential by providing a safe and welcoming learning and working environment, ensuring all students have access to the highest quality instruction and learning conditions and graduate college and career ready,
creating a culture of high expectations for all students and employees, supporting our staff in making data-driven decisions that are in the best interest of students. You're going to need that some night when you're making a tough decision. You heed my advice. Encouraging trust through open, honest, and ongoing communication across all members of our school community. Our values. We believe every student deserves our best every day and in every situation. All students will know we believe in them and that they are the focus of our work. Every interaction with students matters and is an opportunity to teach and show we care. Positive, collaborative school community relationships are built on trust. Educating the whole child is maximized by creating meaningful partnerships with communities, families, parents, and educators. Our students and employees will strive to model our 9 character traits. Continuous learning and sharing new ideas, continuous learning and sharing new ideas, best practices, and offering support to one another helps us improve our services to students and to one another.
That's long.
It's really nice, though. I like it.
Continuous learning and sharing new ideas.
Continuous learning.
Support to one another helps. You know what? Why don't we just delete it from helps us improve? It just helps us improve.
Sharing new ideas, best practices, and offering support to one another helps us improve. Period. Okay.
Because it helps us improve as human beings and improve our services. It's comprehensive.
It's very nice. I am sending this to your superintendent with a love note in the sand.
Okay.
Don't invite me ever.
And I will send it all out to you all, and provide some feedback. Not too much, please.
Yes.
Because in and on and at could make a difference.
Seriously. Nice work.
Nice work. We beat this to death, but it will be used.
All right.
And you own it. You own it until there's another election and someone says, "Who wrote this? I had nothing to do with this."
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I will note that we're ending right on time at 6:30. I'm going to get there. I was thanking folks first, and it includes the folks in the back and everybody else for participating. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. I see it by Trustee Lopez, seconded by Trustee Irvin. Adjourned.